I Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. All right, Lord willing, today we're going to get into 1 Samuel, the 21st chapter, and a quick recap of the 20th chapter. David and Jonathan had made a plan to see Saul's intentions, basically. And ended up Saul was really trying to kill David. And Jonathan saw that, because at first Jonathan didn't really see it. He didn't really want to believe it. But at once Jonathan saw that Saul was really trying to kill David, they had the plan. He would shoot the owls, he would send the lad, and had code words. If on this side, he would get the owls on this side, then there's peace. But if he tells the lad to go beyond thee, and there's no peace, in that David should go. Before they're therefore parted, you know, um, they had to say their goodbyes, and um, Jonathan swore loyalty to David, made a covenant to each other. Yeah, that's about it. So this is First Samuel chapter 21 and 1, and it reads, Then David came to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech was afraid at meeting of David, and said unto him, Why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, The king hath commanded me a business, and hath said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee. And I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under thine hand? So so far, David goes to the town of Nob and to see Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech he was fearful of seeing why David was alone. And David basically told him that the king sent him on a private matter. Of course, David's not going to go tell him everything that has happened so far, because it's just not wise to do so. So David basically said that he's on a private matter for the king. And he told his men to meet him later. That's basically it. Verse 3. Now therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under my hand, but there is hallowed bread, if the young men have kept themselves at least from the woman. And David answered the priest and said unto him, Of a truth, woman hath been kept from us about these 3 days, since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common, yet though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the shewbread that was taken from before the Lord, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken. So far, David asked for something to eat, for the loaves of bread. And the priest was like, We didn't have any regular bread, so there's only holy bread. Right, so the priest said that there's no regular bread, there's only holy bread. And Ahimelech was saying that and his man can have it only if they haven't slept with any woman, because it's holy bread. So, and David was like, um, yeah, David was basically like, his that his men are holy and they haven't slept with any woman. So the priest gave him bread. The priest ended up giving him the hallowed bread. We're going to the word hallowed, hallowed, sacredness, holiness. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hallowed bread. Now going back to verse 7. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. And David said unto Ahimelech, and is there not here under thine hand spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapons with me, but because the king's business required haste. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in a cloth, behold, behind the ephod. If thou wilt take that, take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that, give it to me. So basically, you know, Doeg the Edomite, he was there. He was a servant of Saul, he was there. He's probably observing the interaction between them two, you know. And then you have David requesting a weapon, and Ahimelech gives him Goliath's sword, the one that David slew some time back. Verse 10. And David arose and fled that day for fear of Saul, and went to Achish the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said unto him, is not this David the king of the land? Did they not sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul hath slain thousands and David his 10,000s? Damn, so those songs reached quite a far. They didn't just stay where they sang it at. It spread. It kind of like rumors. It spread. And David laid up these words in his heart and was so afraid of Achish the king of Gath. And he changed his behavior before them and feigned himself mad in their hands and scrabbled on the doors of the gates and let his spittle fall down upon his beard. Then said Achish unto his servants, Lo, ye see that the man is mad. Wherefore then have ye brought him to me? Have I need of mad men, that ye have brought this fellow to play the madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? Right, so, David flees to Gath in fear of Saul, and, you know, um, David was afraid of King of Achish, the king of Gath. So he pretends to be mad, like be insane, so that which was very smart, because what would have happened if it was perfectly normal? I wonder what would have happened. But David would have kept doing what he had to do if he didn't pretend he was mad. Then maybe they would have killed him. Who knows? So he pretended to be mad or insane, and then Achish sent him away. And that's the end of First Samuel, the 21st chapter. A quick summary. While fleeing from Saul, David, he gets he gets food and a weapon from Ahimelech. You have Doeg in the back. He spots the two of them, and then you know, um, David fled to Gath, and in fear of King Achish, he pretends to be mad or insane because it's more than likely that they would have killed David. Yeah, it's more than likely that King Ugash would have killed him. Let me just before I end it, I just want to go into Achish real quick. There we go. It's a Philistine king. Yep. So yeah, they would have killed him because David took down Goliath, which was also a Philistine. So it's like, yeah, they would have either imprisoned him, killed him, tortured him. They would have done some shit. So that's why David was afraid of his life. You know, and he only had one weapon. Well, maybe he even hit the weapon when they saw him. But yeah, that's the end of First Samuel, the 21st chapter. And over the next time we'll get into the 22nd chapter. Until next time, Shalom.